D3 is one of my favorite game publishing companies because they specialize in weird ideas. They're known for putting out a series of budget titles in Japan known as the Simple Series. The goal of the Simple Series was to put out fun games with micro budgets and sell them for about $10 to $20 in Japanese convenience stores and game stores. As a result of the budget and the hasty publishing of these titles, many of the Simple Series ended up as shovelware. However, the Simple Series gave way to some of my favorite games that were exceptionally well received and eventually made it out to the West. Earth Defense Force and Onichambara are among the best games that the Simple Series has to offer. Bizarre, weird, low budget, all apply to Sony and D3's Work Time Fun. Did you know Wikipedia said that Work Time Fun was known in Japan as Beit Heru 2000? Beit is short for our Baits, and that's a Japanese word that means part-time job. Did you know that? Did you? I was initially drawn to this game by its cover alone. I thought to myself, is that Dr. Tran?
Here comes Dr. Tran.
Where's that coming from?
This summer, everyone's favorite action hero returns.
What?
And his name is Dr. Tran.
Oh, I'm not a doctor.
He's a real doctor.
I'm not a doctor. I'm only 5 years old.
I was a huge fan of G4 TV before it became the Cops Network. There was nothing better in the world than bundling up in a blanket robe, eating Dove chocolates, sipping on a Coca-Cola Black, playing PSP, and watching Cinematheque. I picked up Work Time Fun as a gift for my friend's birthday, and I later learned that the game had absolutely nothing to do with Dr. Tran, and it was just a generic Asian child created for the cover. An honest mistake made by a non-racist person as myself. When you start the game, you're shown a Photoshop cat that tells you about the proper method of Pro Duo handling procedures.
Work Time Fun!
The first time you boot it, it asks you to enter in all sorts of personal information, of which I have no idea how most of it impacts the game. Why does it need to know your blood type? The same shit happened in Saga Frontier. Apparently, in Japan, there exists a form of scientific racism based around the ABO blood types. The belief is that depending on your blood type, you exhibit certain personality traits. I guess this is used to determine how compatible you are with other people. I don't claim to be any sort of blood expert, but after reading this Wikipedia article, I want absolutely nothing to do with blood type subhuman scum. So you're presented with this computer screen where you can check email, pick a job, play multiplayer, or go to the Capsule Toy Machines. The objective of WTF is that you're in hell and you need money to buy capsule toys.
$100 each. Maybe just one. Hey, what's this? I should try again.
You take up part-time jobs in hell. You're only given 4 different jobs to pick at a time, and they change up when you play a couple of jobs. These jobs are microgames reminiscent of WarioWare. Instead of only lasting a few seconds, you typically play until you win thousands of points, lose, or get tired and decide to cash in for a paycheck. Depending on how well you do at your job, you'll get a larger paycheck and bonuses. You'll take these paychecks straight to the Capsule Toy Machines to buy trinkets, unlock more jobs, or special tools to help you with everyday problems. The tools remind me of those free apps you can get on your cell phone, but back in 2006, this shit was pretty cool. These tools are just as weird as the jobs themselves. They have a flashlight app, which is just a blank white screen. One of my favorite apps is the ramen timer. It's basically an egg timer, but instead of a clock, You get Japanese people alerting you of the time left before your ramen is ready to eat. You can choose between a male and female, but when it comes down to it, male is objectively the best choice for your ramen needs.
It's ramen timer time, start! Are you ready?
Games. Let's talk about the jobs. There are 40 mini-games which you can play in order to make money. Some will take you only a minute, while others are never-ending until you decide to pick up your paycheck. Mushroom Crossing. This is basically a simplified version of Frogger. You play as a Japanese game developer who just launched a monochromatic video game system because your company forced you to rush out this system before it was ready. The very same company attributed this failure to you. You've officially been demoted to an office job where all you do is show up, punch in, sit at a desk, and punch out. All you can do at this point is eat magic mushrooms from a road and go visit your friend across the street holding up a cum sign. The game ends when you get hit by a car. Uh-oh, I got a gunpei. I heard they're working on a sequel where the company retroactively sings praises of your revolutionary game ideas and pretends it had absolutely no involvement with your death. Pandemonium. This is probably the most infamous game from WTF. The basic premise is that you're a line worker in a pin factory. Your job, put the caps on the pins. The only challenge is that you'll occasionally have to flip pins over vertically to cover the tip. As you go along, you'll hear other workers complain about their lives, talk about their lost dreams, or their plans to find other employment. As weird as it sounds, it's very hypnotic and relaxing. I don't think there's a limit to how many pins you can cap. Maybe up to a Googleplex. If you want more money, you'll have to make sure that all the pins are perfectly capped with the tip covered. I can only make it to about 200 pins before I get bored, but I wonder, what's the highest amount of pins that were ever recorded? If anyone knows, please leave a comment. Chick sorting. The title card of this game is fucking strange. Do you play as that green guy behind the hills? Anyways, Spookman has the job of sorting baby chicks into 3 separate bins. Male in the male bins, females have a bow and you put them in the female bin. Sometimes you'll have a dead chick fetus where you have to send them up to heaven. Like Pandemonium, accuracy is important for bonus points. Occasionally, you'll get a mutant chick with a long beak or a giant head, but those account for the best part of the chicken nuggets, so you get extra for them. Once you get in the rhythm, this becomes easily one of the most addicting games. I noticed on the bottom of the screen there was a chick moving slowly across. Turns out there's a subtle time limit of 10 minutes. I decided to write it out and boy, was it worth it. Something beautiful happened. Just listen to the music. Oh! It was worth it. My entire life led up to this point! Cliff Race 2000. Based on the Sly Stallone flick with the same name and the exact same plot, you play as a horse with a mohawk racing to the edge of a cliff against a moose. The objective is to stop short of the cliff before flying off the cliff. But getting closer to the edge, then the moose gets close. You hit the brakes on the red line, but to me, it's random. It's what I wrote down. The moose is a cheater, and this isn't as fun, but the flapping tongues and crazy eyes of the racers make me laugh every time. That's what I wrote. Lumberjack. By this point, you should know that you cannot trust anything in work time fun by the title card alone. You're some sort of nerd guy, and you're helping this old lady chop wood. At first, it seems like a rhythm game. Wood, chop, wood, chop, wood, chop. What have I done? Occasionally, this senile old lady will pull cute little animals out of her box. You have to pause and wait for her to remove them. This is where the game becomes brutal. You get in the habit of chopping wood, which has a satisfying chop sound. Then you have to put the brakes on your finger to avoid killing animals. It gets tougher as the lady starts putting down brown animals on the stump, or even wooden animals, which you have to chop. If you delay by a fraction of a second, the game is over. Furthest I've ever made it was to 70 logs. For fingers. This is the last game I'll be looking at today, but there are at least 30 more to unlock. Trust me when I say they only get stranger from here. Four Fingers actually has a basis in reality. Your objective is to take a sharp object and slam it in between the spaces of your fingers in order. The more times you strike, the higher your payout. However, the game gets faster and your eyes get tired until strike! You stab yourself in the hand. This is highly addicting and a good way to make money early on. The hands change up every time you play. My favorite is the reptile hand. Before I close out the video, I do want to mention one of my favorite parts of the game, even though it's just a little feature. Built into the game are many achievements for accomplishing certain things in jobs. For instance, if you get 70 mushrooms in Mushroom Crossing, you get a new title. Not only do you get new titles for yourself, but sometimes you'll get strange emails from your friends about how to do better at the jobs, or just household tips in general. Let me read you one from my friend Hen. I was really bored, so I used the counter tool to count the number of straight hairs and the number of curly hairs on the floor. There were more curly hairs. Did he just count the number of pubes on his floor?
I counted 45 in my bathroom.
Or this farming tip from your old pal, Mr. College. Isn't it trendy to use your kitchen waste as fertilizer for your garden these days? I wonder if it's as trendy to use human waste for gardening as well. Well, Mr. College, I shit in my front yard and I still can't get anything to grow. These emails are ridiculous and the photos they picked are stupid, but they fit in with the bizarre atmosphere that you won't find in any other game but Work Time Fun. I should also mention that there is a multiplayer aspect where you can trade trinkets or play competitive jobs with a friend. If you find another person who likes this game enough to play with you, then you found a friend for life. If this game sounds like something for you, then you can pick it up for $9.99 on the PSN store. It works on the PSP, Vita, and Vita TV. It's fun to play in the company of others. If you want to check out similar games, then I'd recommend the WarioWare series or Retro Game Challenge, a game which I will cover in a future episode, maybe.
It's ramen timer time.
What are you doing? I'm making ramen.
But you don't have any hot water or a bowl. And what is that lotion for?
For making ramen.
Okay.